Okay, guys, we are live for Bikini this morning. They have wheelchair bodybuilding on first, so I just kind of let that roll. No pun, no pun intended. But we're getting Bikini Girls out right now. So again, as I go into this commentary, I always use the caveat that I am watching the live stream. I'm not there in person, so I'm just going based on what I see here. Quality of the live stream is pretty good. So I'll just kind of give you a breakdown of each girl and we'll take it from there and just see what happens. All right. So they're coming out with the initial call outs right now. And from what I can see here, we've got Vanya, Angelica, Ellie, Tatiana, and Phoebe in this first call out, and I'm liking Vanya's pop to her physique best. Of the girls that we talked about last time, I think that's Lucia on the end. Yep, that's Lucia. I didn't even recognize her. Oh goodness, she's very hard. Yeah, Phoebe's lacking a little bit in the upper glute. Angelica looks good, but she just doesn't have that density to her. Vanya's very well balanced. Lucia needs to calm down her walk. It's a little bit over the top. Her overall presentation is just a little bit over the top here. Yeah, you can feel free to comment in too, because I can see your comments when they come in, so feel free. Okay, in the second lineup, Natalia is standing out to me from the front in this second lineup. Let's see what they look like when they turn around. She's lacking a little bit upper glute pop. Tara is all glutes from the back. She actually needs a little bit more leg from what I'm seeing here. Octavia needs to fix her top. It makes her look really broad across the top. She's dropping her glutes when she goes in the back pose too. I don't know what she's doing with this back pose. I don't like that. Blonde girl, I think her name's Marie, something Marie. She looks good. I feel like this live stream is making them look harder than they actually are. Just knowing what they look like in person from the last show, I think that the live stream's actually making them look a little bit harder than reality. Also, if you guys didn't know, I don't know if you're watching the live stream, you can actually hit the little settings button and you can turn up the resolution on the live itself. Okay, so Lucia's up first. And she really needs to calm this walk down. It's way too much. It's over the top. She's very hard from the back. That's what I was afraid of. she did the little glute touch. Again, not a huge fan of that. We know that. Don't touch your glutes when you're posing. I mean, overall, she's in condition, which is what I was assuming based on what she was presenting on Instagram and things like that. But I actually think it's too much. Not a fan of her suit color either. Now, again, it could be the lighting on the live stream, but it's a little bit like reddish orange. Not a great look with that, with her hairstyle and everything too. She needs a little bit more curl. I think she just looks hard. She needs some curl, needs some softness. Okay, Vanya's up. When they first came out in that initial comparison, I did like Vanya best. I'm just going to be honest. She's got the same suit and everything as Arnold in Columbus. She's in great shape. She's got some really nice pop on the upper outer part of her glute. That's the biggest thing I noticed that she has that the other girls in that first lineup didn't have. Her posing is very clean and polished. Like if you put her posing next to Lucia's posing is over the top. Vanya does her own little spin on things, but it's very clean and very classy. Like it was a really good posing routine. This is Nade. I do like the purple suit. She's looking down at her feet a lot when she walks. It's like almost like a signification that she doesn't feel like confident. You know what I mean? It's almost that look. Drops her glutes a little bit going into that back pose, and she's squeezing a little bit too much in the upper part of her back for the back pose. She's in great shape. Overall, I like this look on her. I would say just confidence and like overall polish to her posing. She's very long legs, so she doesn't keep her glutes up and stuff. They squish when she turns. So I would say some polish through the transitions and just confidence in general. Again, looking at her feet a lot, that kind of thing. Angelica's up next. She's posing at the back of the stage, which a lot of people are not doing because the lighting is not great back there. If you look at the live stream, you can see there's no light in the back. So most of them have come straight to the box. She did not. She posed at the top. To me, the abs look a little bit better this week than they did in Columbus. But again, this could just be live stream. She's still got the jiggle in the back. She's got the pop on the upper outer glute. She just doesn't have the density. We talked about this. This was her feedback from Tyler. This is what we talked about as far as what she needs to improve. To me, like what I'm seeing here, looks better than Columbus. But, you can't build density in 2 weeks. You just can't build density in 2 weeks. Also, the tan does look better. And again, I'm going based on live stream, so this could be different in person. I'm just going based on what I see here. Overall, I think it's a better package than Ohio from what I can see. Okay, here comes this Tatiana. She did change her suit color up, but it's still not great. It's a light blue with white stones. When you're this light skinned and you have the red hair and things like that, you need a deep colored suit. She's very conditioned, like very. You can see the dip in her glutes. You can see she's actually striating a little bit in her glutes as she's moving through her transition pose. She still just missed the mark on this. I wish she'd come out a little bit softer and fuller. I do like the hair look. The hair look looks good. And she did change her suit, but it wasn't a good choice in the change of suit. She needs a deep pigment. Like if she'd worn a blue like Vanya had, would be beautiful. And the sad part about it is I think it is a deeper blue fabric, but she's got light colored crystals on top, and it's just not doing it for her. Yeah, this is super early for me, so I am stocked up on coffee for sure. It's like, oh, did I really set my alarm for 5 a.m.? And I was out last night late too, so that was fun times. Okay, so Ellie's up next. She still has that pink suit. I wish she had changed her suit. It just doesn't, again, it doesn't do it for her. This live stream makes them look a lot darker and a lot more conditioned than they are, I think, just based on knowing what they looked like in person in Ohio. She's very conditioned. She still just doesn't have quite the pop that I'm looking for from her glutes. She looks great, don't get me wrong, but it's just different when you see her next to Vanya. I don't know, it's just like, it's almost like Ellie has like a dryness to her that Vanya doesn't have. Vanya has that full round pop that I like. So I wish Ellie had changed her suit. Oh, goodness. Beautiful look overall. And I don't think she's too conditioned. I just think that she's just not quite there. Yeah, the light's rough. Phoebe is also posing in the back, but she's coming out of it. Okay. And I could be wrong, but I'm basing this on what I'm seeing with her versus everybody else. Phoebe's tan looks a little bit on the greenish tint. I don't know what it looks like in person, but in comparison to everybody else in the live stream, she looks a little greenish. She does have some good pop on her glutes, but I think that this suit bottom is too big. I think it's actually covering up the top part of her glutes. The top is better. The top of her suit is definitely better than what she wore in Ohio. And she's definitely more conditioned, but I feel like she's lost a little bit of pop in her shoulders. That suit bottom's too big on the back. It's covering up her inner part of her roundness of her glute. Okay, so Lisa, we didn't talk about her on the preview because she hasn't really done anything outside of Europe. I don't know what she's doing with her posing right now. That was a big no. Don't do that. And her suit is like an orangish color. And again, her tan looks very light and it looks a little bit on the orange side. Not a good combo with the suit. She's very conditioned. Again, we're seeing those cuts and even her glutes on the side. More than anything, I'm looking on the side part of the glute as far as their conditioning for this live stream because it is making them look very, very hard in general. I don't think they look like that in person, but you can tell just by the way that her glute moves as she goes into her transitions that she's a little bit too conditioned. And I don't like that suit color. Tara's in a pink. She's another one where I think her tan is too light. If her tan was darker, I think this suit would probably pop off her a little bit better, but it's just not dark enough. Her waistline has disappeared. Like that's one thing I was curious to see because that was something that I was critiqued around last year is that her waistline. But with that, she also looks very glute dominant from the back. Like she needs more legs. Yeah, it's so weird. I don't typically say that a girl needs more legs in bikini, but she needs more legs. It's like all glutes. So whatever she did with her shaping since the Olympia definitely helped with her waistline. Big time, big time, big time. But now I would say she needs to add a little bit more size on her legs from the back. From the front, she's okay. But from the back, so maybe it just could be a posing thing. So Natalia looked good in that lineup. Also, if you're watching on the live stream, can you hear just me or can you hear the live stream as well? The reason I'm concerned about that is they have the music playing and I don't want it to get, I don't want my video to get blocked. I don't know if you can hear the video, if you can actually hear the live from the UK or if you just hear me. So let me know. Can you hear the live as well? Natalia looks good. I think that this is very good conditioning. I like her suit. I like her suit choice. Just you? Okay, cool. You can hear just me. Perfect. That's all I want, just me. It's just music playing in the background. There's no commentary or anything playing on the actual live, so I just don't want the music to get my video blocked. I like Natalia's look. I do. It's a nice pop to her. They zoomed in for these last couple of girls on the live stream, which is nice. I wish they'd done that from the start with these individuals because I could have seen them a little bit better. So we got Alice up next. Oh, bobbling a little bit on her posing. Again, another orangish colored suit. I don't know why girls are doing this. This is not, it's like all the European girls are wearing the orangish colored suits. It's not a good color. It's not a good color, guys. Ooh, that posing. Stand up. You look like you're gonna poop. Yeah, I'm not a fan of her posing at all. Alice looks better than what she's presenting for sure. I'm guessing, and again, I'm going on the live feed, I'm guessing she's a little bit soft from the back. Her rib cage is poking out up at the top, so it's a little bit over dieted with her rib cage, like her rib cage poking out. I'm not a fan of her posing. This whole presentation needs to be redone from top to bottom. Her posing, her suit, everything. I'm good with the hair. The hair is pretty. The tan's good, but all the other things, just redo it all. Because she looks way better than what she's actually presenting. I think she killed herself with the posing, honestly. This Marie Eve looks good. Smile. She's got kind of like a smize thing going on. Smile. I think her conditioning is pretty good. She might be a little over the top from the back with the hamstrings. Waistline is tight. I like her look. I like the blue. That bold color looks really good on her skin tone with her hair. Octavia's up next. She didn't change her suit or anything from Ohio, and it just does not do her any favors on her top. Her top looks so wide. She's got splits in her quads. She's got a lot of muscle in her legs, a lot of muscle in her delts. She's just very muscular. She needs to pull it down if she wants to stay in bikini. Oh, bobbled her posing a little bit there. Let her waistline come out. Do not like this back pose. There's a couple of girls that have been doing this on the back pose where they're like sitting into it. Stand up, stand up, stand up. If you can't execute that walk to the back, don't put it into your routine. That wasn't the best execution of that walk to the back. She just needs to pull her muscularity down. She's just too dense. And her posing, she's way too turned on to the front. It just makes her look really, really broad across the top. Needs to fix the posing. I wish I could, seeing it live versus seeing it on live stream is so different. So I wish I could compare the two packages between like the ones that competed in Ohio versus here. I think we're going to see, like we talked about, I think we're going to see Vanya, Angelica, Phoebe, Ellie, and I don't know who else in that first call out, because a lot of these girls are close, but they're missing the mark on one or two things. Like they're missing the mark on conditioning or their posing or their suit or whatever. This is what we talk about when we're talking about going to these European countries where they're just off the mark. I'd like to see Natalia in that first call out. I think she should be up there. Let's see. If I was a betting woman, I would say Vanya's going to win this. That's just my 2 cents. But we'll see when they get next to each other. Okay, so they brought Lucia out in the first call out, which is interesting to me. She's very hard. Tara, Marie. Oh, so no Natalia in that first call out. That's interesting. I wonder what they see that I don't. You know, maybe they're making a statement here that because they're putting Tara in the middle. Let's see if they keep her there. That's an interesting move to me. Maybe they're trying to say these girls are too big. I mean, because Tara is definitely, like I said, glute dominant, not leg dominant. Let me see her next to. So next to Vanya, she doesn't look that unbalanced, to be honest with you. Yeah, Phoebe to me looks a little flat. She's squishing a little bit as she walks. I think a lot of these girls are just over conditioned. Not the ones here in this first call that I'm talking about in the show in general. So I think they're making a statement with the conditioning, which makes sense. And you know, like I said, now that I see Tara next to Vanya, I get it. I definitely get it. I'd still give this to Vanya though. She's got that pop on the outer part of her glute. I think Tara's just twisted a little bit too far onto the judges, like with her upper body. I think she's too far forward. When I look at waistlines, Vanya's waistline wins to me. This Marie looks really good, like I mentioned. Angelica still has a little bit of that distension in the lower abs. And her density on her glutes just is off still. Ellie looks good. She kind of drops off on the outer part of her glute. Yeah, I would agree with that. I agree with that switch. It's a waistline. Lucia's just too hard. Phoebe's a little flat. I would put Phoebe in sixth and Lucia in seventh. I think that's what we're at. I think that's what we're at with it. I think it was 7 in that first call out. Nade just looks lost up there. Go out there with confidence. Go out there with confidence. Now, if you notice, most of the girls in this last call out here, they're all European girls. Their conditioning is way too hard across the board in most of them. I think Tara is improved quite a bit from the last time she was on stage. Her waistline is way better than it was at the Olympia. So if you notice, they put Alice towards the center of this final call out. She's the least conditioned. These girls are all over the top with the conditioning. Tatiana's getting no love. Her conditioning and her muscularity is way too much. All right, well, they're moving her in. So I take that back. Take it back. She still looks a little greenish to me. Like her tan looks a little green in comparison to everybody else. Okay, so I lied. The conditioning on Alice did not keep her in the center. She is the least conditioned. They moved her out. I lied. It's so hard when you're watching a live stream versus in person. I tell you guys that all the time. If you're not there in person, you can't see what actually went down. But yeah, almost all these girls in this last call out here are European girls. You know, we talked about this on our preview. Okay, so they're bringing back the bottom of that first call out. And also Tatiana. So I'm guessing they want to see Tatiana next to these girls, see if they want to move Tatiana up. Yeah, to me, Phoebe's physique just looks tired. They may put. I'm curious to see how this placing goes. I have Phoebe. Or I'm sorry, I have Ellie pretty clearly in 5th for me. Phoebe's suit bottom is too big. It is cutting off the whole inner part of her upper glute, and it's just making them look smaller. Again, I like the top better. Don't like the bottoms. Lucia to me is too muscular, too hard from the back, and she's definitely too hard from the front. You can see the splits in her quads, but so is Tatiana. So I think what they're trying to figure out is if they're going to go with less or more muscle, because Tatiana has a little bit less muscle and Lucia has a little bit more. Okay, so here's your top 4. I do like this Marie. Like I said, I liked her look from the moment she got out there. I'd like to see her smile more. That's my critique of her. And Tara has a tendency to wear these light colored suits. She wore the mint colored suit for a while. I think she would look so much better if she had a deeper colored suit. Her tan's just not as dark as everybody else. Yeah, Tatiana is a little, I'm sorry, not Tatiana. Tara is a little bit unbalanced. Like I said that when she was out by herself, she needs more legs. Standing next to Vanya, she doesn't look as unbalanced. Like when she's by herself, the first thing I said was legs, right? But standing next to Vanya, she doesn't look like she's that unbalanced. However, I still think that her upper body is too big. I think she's posing it too big. I don't think it's a problem with her upper body. I think it's her pose. And I'm assuming they probably did that because she's always gotten critiqued on her midsection not being tight enough. So I'm guessing they're really trying to yank her to make that waistline look smaller. So it may be a lesser of two evils kind of thing for her in this situation so that she can keep her waistline tight. But I would probably, that back shoulder, I'd probably pull it back a little. I think that she's in 3rd and that Angelica's in 4th. And it's just the squishing in the glutes and the lower abs still for Angelica. I do think this is a better, in general, I think this is a better package for Angelica than Ohio, but she just, in order to move up, she's going to need to build some density in her glutes, and she's going to need to really work on keeping that waistline as tiny as possible. She's done a good job. She's done a good job and making some improvements since 2 weeks ago, for sure. I just don't think it's enough. If I was betting right now, I'd say that Vanya's in first. Vanya in first, Tara in second, Marie in third, Angelica in fourth, and then I put Ellie in fifth. Phoebe in sixth. It's a toss-up between Tatiana and Lucia, because I think they're both too conditioned. And I don't particularly like their look at the show. Like, Tatiana needed to change her suit color, which she did do, but she went with a light colored suit. She didn't go with a dark colored suit. I would go with a dark colored suit. Again, she's so fair skinned with red hair. She needs to have a color that's going to pop off of her skin. A royal blue would have been so much better, right? Or, purple or something like that. Lucia needs to soften up in general, not just her physique, but her overall look. She has the tattoos everywhere, which isn't a problem. Actually, I didn't even really look at the tattoos, but she needs to smile more. She needs to lighten up. She just needs to have a more happy versus sexy look on stage, if that makes sense. I put some curls in her hair. I'd probably put her in a girly colored suit, like a blue or a purple or something like that. That would, again, kind of soften her look a little. She's just got that like vampy, like sexy kind of thing going on, and it's just too much. It doesn't work for today's bikini. So that's the direction I would go with her. Phoebe just looked a little deflated all the way around. I think what she probably tried to do is she tried to tighten up a little bit more since Ohio, and then just couldn't fill back out. If I had to guess, I'd guess that's what happened with her. And again, suit top was better than what she had in Ohio by a mile, but the suit bottoms were too big. Everybody in that second call out was off in one way or another, meaning they were either too hard, too conditioned, too muscular, or their presentation was off, or their conditioning was too soft, or whatever. They were off in one way or another. So I liked Natalia. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. Again, the unfortunate part about being on the live stream is that we're on the live stream, right? We're not there in person. So I don't see all the minutia details that the judges see. I did, from when I saw Natalia first come out, I thought she looked great. But clearly the judges saw something different there. Maybe she's too over the top with her conditioning. Her tan was definitely the darkest one on stage. Maybe it was the tan. Again, some of the things that we can't see here on the screen versus what they're seeing in real life. So maybe the tan kind of messed her up a little bit. I don't really know. I'd like to hear what her feedback is, to be honest with you, because from what I'm seeing on the live stream, I think I would have put her a little bit higher. Some of these girls, their tans look a little bit greenish or whatever. And maybe it doesn't actually look like that in person. It could just be the lighting of the live stream. So, what time is finals? Ask any questions you like. I've still got the live up. So if you want to put in questions in the comments, feel free. Let me look at the timing for finals, see if I can get on for finals tonight. I think I can. 3 o'clock. Ooh, I got to train. I have clients all day today. I'll do my best. I can go live on my phone. So if I'm at the gym or something like that, I can't watch and go live at the same time though. That's the hard part. So I'll see what I can do. If I can get on live for finals tonight, I will. It's just gonna be a matter of timing. But they don't do a whole lot of judging at finals anyway, so not a huge deal. Yeah, Nade didn't look like she was ready for this mentally. I agree. From the second she walked on stage, she was looking down at her feet. Um, I actually liked her suit better at this show. Posing was not great. She just didn't look confident. I don't know what it was. I don't know if she was in her head. If she, sometimes you get into these bigger shows and you have like that imposter syndrome kind of thing. So maybe that was part of it. She's a brand new pro and she got accepted into this lineup. That could be playing with her head a little bit. Who knows? But it was pretty clear watching her versus everybody else. She did not have the confidence factor. So it's unfortunate when that's the reason. You know what I mean? This pretty much played out how I thought it was going to, other than I would have liked to see Natalia higher. Other than that, everybody else was pretty much where I thought they were going to be. I guess I was right with my preview not to go on the pro list and not go on the graphic. so, well, so to the comment of I thought there would be more bikini girls. We talked about this in the preview. Somebody asked why did they invite as many people as they did, and this is why, because a bunch of them dropped out. So I don't know if they didn't have really super strict restrictions as far as who could be in and who could be out on this show. I know that some of the other ones they've said like if you commit to it, you have to be in it kind of thing. But there was 20 girls on that list and only 13 showed up. So that's almost half the girls that dropped out, right? It's almost half the girls. So, you're welcome. I'm glad I woke my butt up early to do this. I think they were hyping to sell tickets. Yeah, well, I think that I don't necessarily think it was to sell tickets. I mean, that's always helpful when you have more athletes, you're going to sell more tickets, period. You know what I mean? But I think they kind of anticipated that they would have people drop out. Because across the board they did. When you look at wellness, the reason why I didn't do wellness commentary yesterday is because they only had 5 girls on that stage. And none of them are top Olympians, not one. They all dropped. So all the really good wellness girls, and I say that with quotations because we're talking about girls that placed well at the Olympia and things like that, they all dropped out. So so we had 5 girls total in wellness. That's why I didn't get up and do commentary. Like I'm sleeping. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I mean this lineup ended up being pretty competitive in that first call out. That's typically how these bigger shows in Europe go, as far as that's concerned. Some of you guys have just started in this sport recently, but prior to pandemic times, girls would start their season at the Arnold, and then they would go overseas and do, this show. They would do Prague. They do all those kinds of shows over there. That the U.S. girls. So there was always a good, top 4, top 5 in the lineup. But ever since the pandemic, that really hasn't been happening as much. This is kind of the first time that we've seen, the U.S. girls all travel over to Europe at the same time. So we got a decent look for that top 5. But typically, when you're looking at shows like this, you've got like one really competitive girl. You know what I mean? And that's about it. So the fact that they had a good top 5, that's a good thing. You know what I mean? But again, I think that the reason why they invited as many girls as they did is they anticipated people would drop out. Because across the board on all of the divisions, people have dropped out. Let me see. They're on men's physique right now. And even men's physique, they've only got 6 competitors in men's physique total. And that's men's physique. I don't know how many they invited to begin with, but they've got 3 U.S. people, 2 Brazilian people, and Iran. So I'm assuming they had probably 10, 12 people that were on the list and they all dropped. So it's unfortunate. I mean, looking at men's classic, they've only got 7. Men's bodybuilding, they've only got 7. So, it's like they kind of have to. They kind of have to invite a bunch of people because I think that they assume that this is going to happen. I think they assume that. So, any other questions before I wrap it up for today? I'll leave it open for like one more minute I'll leave it open while they're doing men's physique right now because they're going through comparisons and call outs right now with men's physique. I'm guessing Diogo is probably going to win this one too. I'm just looking at it. Putting Corey in. Yeah, I'm guessing this is Diogo's show. Basically, oh, did they just lose the live stream? Looks like they did. They lost the live stream for Men's Physique. Well, that sucks. Glad we didn't have that didn't happen for Bikini. But anyway, so yeah, probably Diogo for that, because if you won the Arnold Classic in the US, you're most likely going to win it over in the UK. So with that, you guys, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go back to sleep for a couple of hours if I can. Now that I've had coffee, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back to sleep, but I'm going to try, because I've got a full day ahead of me with clients and stuff. So I'm going to do my best. But I'm glad you guys joined me. There was a handful of you guys on asking questions. Love that. Let's see how it plays out for tonight. If I can get on, I will. I'm not going to stress about it though, because like we said, they don't really judge a whole lot at finals. So we'll just kind of watch how it plays out. I think Vanya's got this with Tara in second. It's going to be a toss up between Angelica and Marie in third, but I think Marie is going to be in third and Angelica in fourth, and then probably Ellie fifth and Phoebe sixth. And then seventh and eighth, I would toss up between Lucia and Tatiana. They both have things to work on. And then we're into that bottom half. So you're welcome, you guys. Enjoy your Saturday. I'm going to try to go back to sleep.